So what test was it? Now you know. A chromosome test.
Not
So we're
used,
gonna look at
not used by the IOC since 1999.
correct.
And the Maria Jose Martinez Patino case was a major reason why it was ended.
Yes. And let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at Maria's testimony. Y'all should look this up.
We will put it in the comment section under here when we go to tape. But read this because it's important what happened to this woman.
All right, here we go. This is what she wrote in 2005. 1968 to 2000, women athletes had to undergo genetic testing to prove their sex before they could compete. From its inception, medical experts questioned the ethics and efficacy of this policy. As an athlete, I believe it added an obstacle to the already demanding course that women had to take to participate in sport. I was born and raised in northern Spain. I had the life of a normal girl, except that I had an affinity for running and jumping. I excelled in athletics and competed at the national level, but only because of concentrated effort and training. I was overjoyed to be able to participate in the 1983 World Track and Field Championships in Helsinki, Finland, when I was 22 years old. There I passed my first sex test and was given a certificate of femininity. In 1985, I went to the World University Games in Kobe, Japan. Unfortunately, I forgot my certificate, and my buccal smear test for 2 X chromosomes had to be repeated. Later that day, our team doctor told me in front of the teammates I sat with on the night before my race that there was a problem with my result. At the hospital the next day, I learned that a sophisticated karyotype analysis would be undertaken and that the results would take months to reach my sport federation in Spain. I would be unable to compete in that day's race. Our team doctor advised me to consult with a specialist when I got home and urged me in the meantime to fake an injury so that no one would suspect anything untoward. I was shocked, but I did as I was told. I sat in the stands that day watching my teammates, wondering how my body differed from theirs. I spent the rest of that week in my room, feeling a sadness that I could not share. My mind spun. Did I have AIDS or leukemia, the disease that had killed my brother? Back in Spain, I began trying to come to terms with what was happening. Growing up, neither my family nor I had any idea that I was anything other than normal. And here's that certificate of femininity down at the bottom of this column. I went to the best doctors. I attended all appointments alone. However, because I hadn't the heart to tell my parents something was wrong, they were still grieving for my brother. And because my federation was at a loss about what to do until the karyotype result came through, 2 months on, the letter arrived. All of the 50 counted cells by GM sustaining had 46 chromosomes. Karyotype analysis by Q-banding method revealed her sex chromosome constitution is XY. Karyotype is decided 46XY. I have androgen insensitivity and don't respond to testosterone. When I was conceived, my tissues never heard the hormonal messages to become male. As I was about to enter the January 1986 National Championships, I was told to feign an injury and to withdraw from racing quietly, graciously, and permanently. I refused. When I crossed the line first in the 60-meter hurdles, my story was leaked to the press. I was expelled from our athletes' residence. My sports scholarship, how many times does that come up in these discussions? Sports scholarships, men taking scholarships away from women, was revoked. And my running, this is a woman, I'm female at birth, a cisgender woman. And my running times were erased from my country's athletics records. I felt ashamed and embarrassed. I lost friends, my fiance, hope, and energy. But I knew that I was a woman and that my genetic difference gave me no unfair physical advantage. I could hardly pretend to be a man. I have breasts and a vagina. I never cheated. I fought my disqualification. Over the next 2 years, I received letters of support from Albert de Chapelle, a Finnish geneticist who was an early vocal opponent of blanket chromosome testing, and from Alison Carlson, see my essay, S39, an American coach and journalist who educated athletes about the ethical difficulties of gender verification. She helped me to tell my story in the press. A sympathetic Spanish professor gathered my medical evidence and presented the scientific reasons why my case should be reviewed during the Olympic Medical Commission meetings at the Games in Seoul, 1988. They all encouraged me in my endeavor to change the regulations and the mindset of sports administrators about perceived advantage in women with congenital differences. Coverage of my case helped trigger the end of chromosome-based testing. In World Athletics, then known as, I think, as IAAF, they did end chromosome testing in 1991. And all but 5 Olympic disciplines also did it. And among those 5 was significantly not the Boxing World Federation. In 1988, the medical chairman of the International Federation for Athletics, Arnie Lundqvist, gave me license to run again. I paid a high price for my license. My story was told, dissected, and discussed in a very public way, and my victory was bittersweet. After 3 years away from sports, my momentum was lost. I trained hoping to qualify for the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona, Spain, but missed the mark at the trials by 0.1 of a second. I've helped other sportswomen with genetic variants participate without fear, however, and my experience has made me stronger, having had my womanliness tested, literally and figuratively. I suspect I have a surer sense of my femininity than many women. So that's her story. I hope you all realize this is not new. What's new are a whole bunch of people that, for reasons of their own, for bigotries of their own, want to take stories like Maria's, stories like the 2 boxers we've talked about tonight, the stories like the 2 boxers who are blowing up on Twitter because of their being attacked needlessly, remorse